And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The 49ers have officially decided to place star running back, all pro, offensive player of the year from last year, Christian McCaffrey, on the injured reserve. He's going to miss at least 4 games. And the next man up, of course, is Jordan Mason, the undrafted running back who rose all the way up to number 2 on the charts. And now with Christian McCaffrey dealing with calf tightness and Achilles tendonitis, he is going on the injured reserve for at least 4 games. Um, that's tough, man. That's tough. You don't want to see that off your superstar. Like, I'm not going to say Jordan Mason can come right in and just replace Christian McCaffrey like nothing, because you can't just replicate what Christian McCaffrey can do. But Jordan Mason's good, very good. We saw it last week. He runs different. He's a smash mouth runner. He's going to hit you in the mouth. He's going to hit you in the nose. He's going to bloody your lip. That's what he does. But he's not Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey could play, a slot if he wanted to, slot receiver. He can catch out of the backfield. He could do it all. But JP's good. He's a dog. He had 28 carries last week, 147 yards. 49ers offensive line looks improved. Dominic Booney, Trent Williams. I'm not too worried about it because the next 4 games are against the Vikings, the Rams, the Patriots, and the Cardinals. The 49ers should be able to run all over them. Now, if Jordan Mason gets hurt, then we're screwed. Then we're screwed. Now, it's at least 4 games is what they're saying. Could be longer. I mean, it could be longer. It really depends on how this, Achilles starts to heal up. And again, the big question is, how severe is it? Yesterday Kyle Shanahan said it was his worst day. The previous practice on Thursday, a lot of pain and tightness. So they got to be careful because this can turn into a career ender. This could turn into a Achilles tear. You don't want any of that to happen. He's a franchise type player. They paid him a lot of money. But, at the end of the day, give the 49ers some credit for shutting him down and letting him rest and see what he can do after those 4 games. So it's unfortunate. But, you got to move on. This is the NFL. We paid Christian a lot of money, and that's the suck part because he deserves the money. 49ers know that he was locked in for this team, but these things happen. It's really unfortunate because Christian McCaffrey's so good. A lot of people are saying it's a Madden curse. I don't know. What do you guys think? Madden curse? Is it true? The Madden curse? They put him on the cover, and now he's got possibly could be a season ender if it doesn't heal right. I think that's what you guys are getting at. This could be a season ender, but I don't know. I think he could come back. Just really have to rest that Achilles. That's the key to this injury is rest. You can't keep pushing on it because you're going to re-aggravate it and re-aggravate it and re-aggravate it, especially if running back that plays like Christian McCaffrey, how hard he plays and how physically he plays the next 2 weeks on turf wouldn't make sense. So got to be safe. The 49ers know they got a big stretch run coming down the end of the season. They got to be ready for that big stretch run. They have tons of games this year, and you can't waste your best player early. I mean, it sucks. You got to weather the storm. Hopefully, Jordan Mason can get him through this rough patch, and he comes back. Christian McCaffrey can come back and rock and roll. He'll have fresh legs and ready to turn it up, man. It just sucks because you don't want your best player, to be hurt, or one of your best players. Niners have a lot of them. But, at least he'll be out for 4 games. If he comes back after the minimum, it's no harm done. Because, again, Vikings, Rams, Patriots, Cardinals, I think the Niners can run the table without Christian McCaffrey, honestly, for those 4 games. But now we have to also see, because there's a narrative out there, that Brock Purdy is only a product of Christian McCaffrey and this scheme. Brock Purdy needs Christian McCaffrey. That's what everybody says. Brock Purdy gets to prove himself. Brock Purdy gets to prove that he is the franchise quarterback. Brock Purdy gets to go and prove everybody that, hey, guess what? It's not just CMC that makes me. I'm fucking Brock Purdy. Put some respect on my name. So this is kind of good for Brocky and his contract coming up, because if Brock Purdy goes out there, balls out without CMC, you got Jordan Mason, the undrafted running back, we're going to have to pay that man a lot of money. So, Brock Purdy, haters, they watching. They watching, baby. Debo Wildcat coming back. They'll probably use Debo out the backfield. They'll probably use a lot of Mason. Maybe they'll give Garendo some chances. They have to. 4.3 speed, you got to give that man some carries. Maybe they'll sign Breida. They got a couple running backs. Patrick Taylor, Vaughn on the practice squad. They'll probably elevate him today. They'll probably elevate Vaughn from the practice squad. I would be so guaranteeing you that I would be so certain that Matt Breida will be re-signed to this team on the practice squad at the very least. Yeah. Kawa says, look at this. People are acting like the 49ers haven't been the number one running team before CMC. They were leading the league with a bunch of bumbleclots. They were leading the league with Raheem Mostert, who nobody knew at that point. I mean, he's good. Nobody knew who Matt Breida was. Nobody knew who Jeff Wilson Jr. was. Miami does because Mike McDaniel. They were running the league with a bunch of guys that nobody knew. Elijah Mitchell. Niners got this. Don't worry. CMC would just put him over the top. Kareem Hunt? No, we don't need Kareem Hunt. Don't give me Kareem Hunt. The guy's damaged. He's old, washed. Matt Breida's okay. He's old. I think they're okay with Jordan Mason and Isaac Guerrero as long as Guerrero can stay healthy. So, yeah. Mr. Sacra says Kyle said McCaffrey experienced the most pain he's had with his injuries. That's what he said for Thursday. So Thursday he went out and practiced and it just didn't feel right, and he said he felt the most pain. So that's alarming, because a couple of days ago Kyle said we're not expecting injured reserve, and then boom, yesterday morning John Lynch was like, if it has to happen, we might put him on injured reserve. It was like, wait, Kyle said no. Lynch is saying maybe, and then yesterday Kyle Shanahan said we're probably going to do it. So it changed rapidly. So that Achilles took a turn for the worst here. Unfortunate. So let him rest up. CMC, prayers up, get better. Jordan Mason, time to hold it down. That's what's happening, ladies and gentlemen. Jordan Mason will have to hold it down for the 49ers for the next at least 4 games. All right? We need him for the playoffs, says Kawa, and I agree. Rest them up for the playoffs. Brock could carry this easy stretch. I agree. Just hope that nobody else gets hurt on this backfield. We're going to see a lot more Debo at the backfield. We're going to see Isaac Guerrero maybe, right? Maybe Jacob Cowing on the sweep plays, on the tosses, on the jet sweeps. Maybe you get Jacob Cowing. Maybe you get a little unconventional, Kyle. Get a little out. Get in your bag, Kyle. I want to see Kyle get in his bag. And I want to see Jordan Mason continue to eat. And you know what, Jordan Mason, if he tears it up these next couple of games, guys, Jordan Mason's about to get paid next year. Like Jordan Mason knows this is a great opportunity for him. Jordan Mason knows this is money for him. This is big time money for him. If he goes out there and tears it up, Mason about to make a bag. So I think he's going to play very good. I think Jordan Mason is going to go kill it. And this is his opportunity. You get one shot, one opportunity. Do not miss your chance to blow. Shout out to Eminem for that one. Do not miss your opportunity. This happens once in a lifetime. And Jordan Mason is getting his once in a lifetime opportunity to prove the world he is a top dog, a top running back. We call him Baby Marshawn, Mini Marshawn, Marshawn Lynch 2.0. He about to prove the world that he is. So that's it. Well, we'll see how it goes. Robbie says CMC was trying to push through, but he's not playing on Carolina's contract anymore. We extended him, guaranteed him a lot of money. He should have started the season injured reserve. Probably so because he was hurt. End of the day, they're going to rest him regardless. So I think he would have missed games anyways. You know what I mean? But he was trying to get out there and right himself. But you got to love his mentality. He's a tough one, man. He's a tough guy, and it's hard to crack a guy like that. AJ says, how do you properly heal tendonitis? Ice, yeah, that's one of it. Rest, ice. You just got to stay off of it. You can't keep pushing on it. If you have something that's inflamed and you keep pressing it, it's just going to keep inflaming. You have to rest, stay off of it. That's really it. You got to calm it down, get the inflammation down. You got to heal the trauma that's done to that area. So, unfortunate situation. My man says Tasty Jamichael Hasty was a mini Marshawn. I wasn't a fan of Tasty Hasty. I don't like that nickname, Tasty Hasty. He's not tasty. I don't know. Jamichael Hasty. They said it that he was like mini Marshawn. I didn't like him. I didn't think he moved like Marshawn. Maybe because he had the dreads. But I didn't like Jamichael. He was my roommate, or not roommate. He was my neighbor. He would. I don't know if I told you guys this. You guys know. Some of you guys know from the old days. He used to live in my complex. I don't like him. I don't like him. Darren says every running back looks good under Kyle, though. For the most part, yeah. For the most part, if you're under Kyle Shanahan, they got a squad. They got a good running attack. You're going to be a very good running back if you're under Kyle Shanahan, unless you stay hurt like Trey Sermon and Ty Davis Price. But that's another story for another day. Julius says, do you think the Niners can give Mason the money that he deserves? I don't think so. I think they're going to move. If Mason tears it up and he's worth, I don't know, like $8-9 million a year, he's not going to get paid for the Niners because just like we just said, the Niners can develop big-time running backs every year out of nowhere. Jordan Mason was undrafted. The Niners can go get another undrafted guy and turn him into Jordan Mason. That's what they do. You got to pay Brock Purdy probably $60 million next year, most likely if he continues what we think he's going to do. You're not going to pay a running back all this money I mean, yeah, he earns whatever he earns. Like Jordan Mason's gonna earn everything he deserves, but it's not gonna be with the Niners. He's playing his ass for a contract. So yeah. So Hasty was my roommate, not roommate. He was neighbor. I said the wrong choice of words. He wasn't my roommate. He was my neighbor. But I mean, practically we were like roommates. He lived super close to me, literally like a roommate. That's what I meant. But yeah, he was my neighbor. But any case, you guys, that's it for now. We'll check back with you later. Christian McCaffrey is officially on the injured reserve list, man. I'm sad. I'm a little sad. Tears swelling down my eyes before I got on the live. And Jordan Mason is your new running back one until at least 4 games. We'll see if anything happens after that. Kawa said Mason is restricted. They can tender him. Yeah, actually, that's a good call. If the 49ers absolutely want to keep Jordan Mason, that's a good call, actually. I didn't think of that yet. Jordan Mason is restricted. So if the 49ers absolutely want to keep him, just like Juwan Jennings, they can match any offer because he's restricted. So may not be the last of what we see out of Jordan Mason. But if a team wants to come over the top and pay him like crazy money, and I don't know if the 49ers will want to match it, but they'll get draft picks in compensation back. So that's a good thing. So I think some team's going to go dump a lot of money in Jordan Mason. And I don't know if the 49ers are going to want to match it because if he's getting paid more than they're like wanting to pay because they can go get an undrafted running back and develop him, maybe they take the draft pick. So that is where I feel like the 49ers would go in that route. But hey, who knows? Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong because they did tender a guy like Juwan Jennings and they brought him back. So we'll see how it goes. Y'all have a blessed rest of your day. Take care. Go Niners.